Assalamualaikum. My name is Maisara binti Jahrin, metric number 68566. In this video, I'm going to talk about technology that used in remote sensing. But first, here is the definitions of remote sensing. Remote sensors collect data by detecting the energy that is reflected from Earth. The sensors can be either on satellite or mounted on aircraft. Remote sensors can be either passive or active. Passive sensors respond to external stimuli. They record natural energy that is reflected or emitted from the Earth's surface. The most common source of radiation detected by passive sensors is reflected sunlight. In contrast, active sensors use internal stimuli to collect data about Earth. For example, a laser beam remote sensing system projects a laser onto the surface of Earth, measure the time that it takes for the laser to reflect back to its sensors. Okay, now let's move on to the system. The first one is LiDAR, which is the famous one. Light detections and ranging is the popular remote sensing method that used for measuring the exact distance of an object on the Earth's surface. How does LiDAR works? LiDAR follows as a simple principle, which is through laser light at an object on the Earth's surface and calculate the same time it takes to return to the LiDAR source. Given the speed at which light travels, the process of measuring the exact distance through LiDAR appears to be incredibly fast. However, it is very technical, and LiDAR can be used to accomplish many development objectives, and some of the examples are oceanography, agriculture, and archaeology. There are three primary concepts of a LiDAR instrument, which is scanner, laser, and the GPS receiver. Other elements that play a vital role in data collections and analysis are the photodetector and optics. Most governments and private organizations use helicopters, drones, and airplanes for acquiring LiDAR data. There are two types system of LiDAR, which is airborne LiDAR and terrestrial LiDAR. Airborne LiDAR is installed on a helicopter or drone for collecting data. As soon as it's activated, airborne LiDAR emits light towards the ground surface, which returns to the sensor immediately after hitting the object, and giving an exact measurement of its distance. Airborne LiDAR is further divided into two types, which is the topological LiDAR and bathymetric LiDAR. Contrast to airborne, terrestrial LiDAR systems are installed on moving vehicles or tripods on the Earth's surface for collecting accurate data points. These are quite common for the observing highways, analyzing infrastructure, or even collecting point clouds from the insides and outsides of buildings. Terrestrial LiDAR systems have two types, which is the mobile LiDAR and static LiDAR. Okay, next is radar. Radar is an acronym for radio detections and ranging, and in its simplest form, it consists of a transmitted radio signal aimed by an antenna in a particular direction, and a receiver detects by echoes of any object in the path of the signals. The transmitted consists of an electronic circuit that oscillates at a specific frequency, which is usually much higher than those frequencies used for radio or TV and a broadcast. The signal is sent out in the short burst of electromagnetic energy, which is called pulses, which is through the antenna, which produce a narrow beam like that of a torch. Okay, next systems is the image information technique. Another common way of categorizing remote sensing system and the imagery they produce is in the terms of image information technique. Image formation technique refers to how the system actually produces as an image. As previously mentioned, the most common image formation device is the frame camera. It creates an image by using a lens to receive the electromagnetic energy from the ground and transmit it to the film where it is recorded. Just like a snapshot camera, the aerial frame camera takes exposures one by one on a long roll of film. Each exposure typically overlaps the last one by about 6%. This provides for total coverage of the terrain without any gaps and makes possible to the stereo or 3D observation of the aerial photography by photo interpreters. Moreover, some of the system also called as infrared camera radiation system. Infrared remote sensing make use of infrared sensors to detect infrared radiation emitted from the Earth's surface. The middle wave infrared and long wave infrared are within the thermal infrared region. These radiations are emitted from warm objects such as Earth's surface. They are used in satellite remote sensing for measurements on Earth, land, and sea surface temperature. Thermal infrared remote sensing is also often used for detections and forest fires. We can say that remote sensing is a tool that can be useful and give advantage to a lot of people, where the technology that used in remote sensing can help people to interpret the data and to record the data that can make them easy to do the work. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.